With Money in the Bank coming up on July 1, WWE has been busy building out both Money in the Bank ladder matches for the men's and women's divisions. Tonight, Matt Riddle battled Damian Priest in the final qualifying match on the men's side. We also saw Cody Rhodes battle The Miz, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn battle Imperium's Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. Let's take a look at everything that happened during tonight's episode of Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are maybe awaiting the presence of the Phenom, Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we hope to have him back with us Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness. And it certainly is indeed madness because only moments ago, friends, we witnessed history in the NBA as for the first time ever in franchise history, the Denver Nuggets are NBA champions. And we will have a whole lot more to say about that come Thursday night on TXN Sports World. But nonetheless, special moment. I mean, it's very exciting to think about, but you know, we gotta get to the business at hand here, which is this show tonight, which was live from Wichita, Kansas, in the Intrust Bank Arena. And speaking of championships, we had a championship moment to start the show. Rhea Ripley was presented with her brand new WWE, what they're now calling the WWE Women's World Championship. We all remember this past Friday night on SmackDown when it was Asuka who was presented with what they're now calling the WWE Women's Championship. Now Rhea Ripley has her own Women's Championship. It's now the WWE Women's World Championship. And it looks very similar to the World Heavyweight Championship that Seth Rollins holds. So, but there was more to that segment than anything else. There was more to it. We ended up having an interruption. First, Dominic Mysterio came out to join Rhea in celebrating her new championship. And then the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, comes out. And then Cody challenges Dominic to a match at Money in the Bank. And then, 2-for-1 deal, it leads into our first match of the night, which was the Cody Rhodes versus The Miz. And it was Cody Rhodes winning the match 10 minutes and 45 seconds. All right, a lot to digest here. We knew once Asuka got her new belt that Rhea was going to get a belt of her own. Mission accomplished there tonight. And a great way to jump it off with that. And then, of course, the promo segment, you know, he and Dom, they traded some predictable results. The heat Dom was getting was nuts as usual. And as far as the match is concerned, with Cody and Miz, 3 1/4, decent match to kick off the show, but nobody's going to remember it tomorrow. Not only was it something we've seen before, but it didn't give us anything new with the combination. And I got to say, the new belt design for Rhea looks so much better than the big logo design. Dom slapping Cody and running away last week was legitimately hilarious. Dragon Screw Leg Whip is one of those moves that either looks great or looks sloppy. Cody Rhodes is good at executing that move. And The Miz is showing a bit more of what he can do in recent months. He has more in his arsenal than a lot of people think. So we'll give this about 3 to 3 1/4 stars. So there isn't much more to say on this. So MF, come on in. Exciting night, to say the very least. Forgive me if I'm a little off here, but a very exciting moment with the Denver Nuggets winning their first ever NBA championship. And a lot to digest here tonight. Rhea Ripley getting her new belt, which is now going to be known as the WWE Women's World Championship. Cody and Dom is all set for Money in the Bank, and Cody defeats Miz in 10:45.
Yeah. First off, to talk about the women's world title that Rhea Ripley got, I don't know what it is. I think the women's titles look better than the men's. I don't know. I think with that white strapping on it, with it being a little more smaller, it looks great. I was praising how the belt looks, especially with the I guess we can call it the Universal Women's title. I guess I don't know if it's the Undisputed Women's title or the Undisputed Universal Women's title for Asuka. But I thought that the belt looks amazing. I thought the belt looks absolutely flawless. And again, the WWE Women's World Title that Rhea Ripley now has, it looks amazing. Smaller in stature, I'm not too mad about it. I think that's absolutely the right look for the belt. Obviously, some people had a little bit of a bone to pick with it. Maybe that it should have been a little more grandiose. So I don't know what we're kind of looking for. Maybe a throwback to the old WWE Women's title, and I'm talking about the original iteration, the one that Trish Stratus had, the one that Lita had. I think Lita was the last woman to actually hold that belt before they changed it. So, I mean, it could have gone with something that way, but at the end of the day, I thought they did a great job with it. Then with Cody coming out, I'm a little surprised that he called out Dom, but then again, in one way, yes, one way, no. I am surprised that Cody called out Dom for a fight at Money in the Bank. I'm a little more surprised that obviously that now opens the door for anybody to get the Money in the Bank now, seeing that it doesn't look like Cody's now in it. It looks like he's out. So we'll see how that plays out. But at the end of the day, they got to figure out some other things to do. But, man, this was crazy. 3 stars for the match. I thought they did a really good job with the time that they had and with everything that they worked for. I got to say, this first half an hour, the close to 40 minutes of Monday Night Raw, not bad. Very good, at least to start off the show. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. So with that, we move on. We had another in-ring segment. Becky Lynch cuts a promo and interrupted by Zoe Stark. And they traded insults, and then it led into a match. Becky Lynch squaring off against Chelsea Green. And Becky Lynch wins the match in 7 minutes and 15 seconds. So MF, predictable outcome, but hey, I mean, Chelsea actually was able to hang a little bit with the man, even though we all knew Becky was winning this thing from a mile away.
Yeah, we knew that Becky was going to win the match. You got to give her the momentum and everything else. But Chelsea has gotten better in the ring. She has gotten better. She is still, she still is. I don't mind the character being the annoying individual trying to get something over. But the thing is that we kind of felt like Becky was going to win the match going into it. We knew Becky was going to win it. So I actually had no qualms or problems or gripes or beefs with this. I thought they did a really good job with it. And yes, it was a fine match. I thought at the end of the day, they did a really good job with it, with everything that went down. I thought they did solid work with that as well. So getting 7 minutes, especially on a Monday Night Raw, not bad. I thought they did really well with it. So I thought it was good for what it was worth. I'd probably say about 2 3/4 of a star is what I'm going to give. I'm not going to give it any more higher. 2.5 to 2 3/4 is my rating for the match. I thought they did solid. So Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5, 2 3/4. I'll tell you what. The promo before the match was a bit rough, and the fight itself was predictable and a little on the lackluster side. It wasn't bad by any means, but it certainly wasn't the best we've seen from either woman. Becky flubbed the line in her promo, but she recovered well. Zoe Stark was good on the mic, but definitely needs to watch her levels. She got a little too loud at one point, and it was impossible to tell what she was saying. The curb stomp into the bottom turnbuckle is one of those moves that looks so much worse than it really is for the person taking it. So I agree. 2.5, 2.75 of a star. All right. The final men's Money in the Bank qualifying matchup. Matt Riddle squaring off against Damian Priest. And the winner of the match, in 14 minutes and 20 seconds, Damian Priest. Damian Priest goes to London. So I'll say this. This was definitely a step up from the first two bouts. We saw both from an entertainment standpoint and in regard to their intensity. Maybe having stakes made it more exciting. And, during the break, when we came back from the break, the Archer of Infamy was way out of an ankle lock and a sleeper hold. After fighting through more offense, Priest managed to score the win to qualify for the Money in the Bank and end what turned out to be a really fun match. I probably would say maybe second best fight of the night on this show. And after it was over, Damian Priest passed Imperium in the aisle and told them to pick the bones, which they happily did. Priest was getting some cheers during his entrance. The crowd might be ready for him to be a babyface again. There was an awkward moment when it seemed like neither guy knew what to do, but they moved on quickly. The way Damian Priest slid across the announce table was pretty funny, and Matt Riddle's Fisherman Superplex looked awesome. 3.5, maybe 3.75 for this. Second best fight of the night. There was one match that was better. I think we all know where we're going with that. So not much more to say here. 3.5, 3.75 for this. So MF, Damian Priest rounds out the field. You got him. You got Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet representing Monday Night Raw and representing Friday Night SmackDown on your end. You got LA Knight. You got Butch. And you got Santos Escobar. How's that for a field?
That's a pretty good field. These are guys who are basically mid-card guys. Practically all of them are all mid-card guys. But they're all fighting, all itching, all looking for that next step up to be in that main event program. I gotta say, Damian Priest now has elevated himself to be the odds-on favorite for the Monday Night Raw side. We talk about LA Knight winning it for SmackDown. I think Damian Priest has instantly become the favorite on Monday Night Raw to win the Money in the Bank now. Because of the body of work that's going on. There is some legit tension between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. All of a sudden, there's something going on there that wasn't there before. And I think it has to tail back to about a week ago when Damian Priest was like, you know what? I'll fight you, Seth, for the World Heavyweight Championship. And all right, you don't want Judgment Day there? They're not going to be there. And you saw the look on Balor like, I thought this was our plan. I thought we were going to do this together. What do you mean you're not going to allow us to be out there? What the hell are you doing? So you could definitely notice, or you could definitely sense that there's a little bit of a going on. Nothing more to say. I thought they did good. I thought it was solid for what it was worth. And there's really nothing more to say. So, Anthony, it's yours.
All right. And we move on next to just looking at a lot of backstage stuff, a lot of recap stuff. Bronson Reed squaring off against Ricochet, and Bronson Reed wins the match by disqualification, 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Outside interference by Shinsuke Nakamura. And next week, MF, Shinsuke Nakamura and Bronson Reed will go one-on-one in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's going to be a solid match. Bronson Reed, and as a matter of fact, this is a first-time matchup. Nakamura and Bronson Reed have never faced off. Even in Japan, they've never faced off.
They actually did. Remember, Shinsuke Nakamura beat Bronson Reed to
that's
qualify.
Right, to qualify for Money in the Bank, yeah. So
we're running it back.
It's a rematch. Yeah, it's a run back. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. Nothing more to say. So yeah, it's yours.
NA for the match, I'm sure.
NA by default. Yes, automatic.
And there was some backstage there was tension between Ricochet and Shinsuke. Ricochet said, "I didn't need your help. I didn't want your help." And he says, "If you do it again, well, we're gonna have to finish what we started a few weeks ago." Ooh.
Well, you know what that's about, because that's the tension. Because it's about the money in the bank, man. There are no friends. You should know that better than anybody else. Whenever there's an opportunity of a lifetime for a chance to become a world champion, no, 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 no. All friends are out the window when it comes to that.
Oh, and we will most certainly be talking about world champions a little bit later on. A dream in that regard came true, but we'll get into that as part of my Tony's take. But anyways, it's going to be an NA for this. Like MF said, we're going to have to invoke the Michael Bullock rule on this one. Even though this was a good match with some fun spots, it felt like both men were holding back a lot. We know they can go harder than this, so hopefully we'll get to see that someday. And Ricochet still has one of the coolest entrances in WWE. He should get a grand entrance at the next WrestleMania. WWE would come up with something cool for it. And the way Bronson Reed leveled Ricochet with a right elbow looked great. Ricochet sold it perfectly. And the way the announcers cleared out of the way because they thought Reed might crash through the announce table was pretty funny. So another NA. So, I should say an NA, not another NA. Move on. Then we had another promo segment. Finn Balor cuts a promo and he calls out Seth freaking Rollins. And he challenged Seth freaking Rollins for a World Heavyweight Championship match at Money in the Bank. Awesome. I mean, I got to say, this to me was the segment of the night right here. They played off the history. We all remember SummerSlam 2016, the Barclays in Brooklyn. Finn Balor defeating Seth Rollins to become the inaugural Universal Champion. But Seth freaking Rollins injured Finn Balor in that match. And the next night on Raw, Finn Balor had to relinquish the title, as we all remember. So, Finn Balor has been chomping at the bits and waiting 7 long years for this opportunity. And at Money in the Bank, he will challenge Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And what I believe is a match that has show stealer potential, without question. But Seth freaking Rollins is not waiting until London, because later in the night, Seth freaking Rollins, next week in Cleveland, open challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, now. Oh boy. Okay. So it will be most interesting to see who accepts that challenge. So I don't know what else there is to say except MF segment of the night. Yes, the fans hijacked it with the Seth Rollins theme song. Mm-hmm. But even with that, this was still a very good segment. Going back to the history of 2016 and how about it, MF? Money in the Bank, Seth freaking Rollins, Finn Balor, World Heavyweight Championship on the line.
Yeah, and it's going to be a heck of a matchup, to say the very least. First off, you have to say that with Seth Rollins getting the opportunity of a lifetime, I should say for Finn Balor getting the opportunity of a lifetime is crazy. I mean, I know a lot of people were shocked. I know a lot of people were stunned. I know a lot of people are like, holy crap, are you sure he deserves this? Look, body of work might tell you one thing. What they've done in the past may tell you another thing. All I know is that this was meant to be. So, this is what you're going to get. This is what's going to happen. Now, from there, we go and we'll see how it plays out. All we know is that Seth Rollins now gets a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. And Finn Balor, good luck, my friend. You're in for the biggest fight of your life. I'll say that, man. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. It could be downright insane. But at the end of the day, only one's going to get to walk away as the heavyweight champion of the world, and that's going to be the big factor. So we'll see how it plays out. I know one thing for sure: it's going to be something else. Now here they are about to compete for the biggest moment in their history, and yeah, I'm excited for them. I'm happy for Balor. To get Balor and Rollins is going to be awesome. To get Balor and Rollins is going to be awesome anywhere in the world. But after that, after the fact, who knows? So, like I said, we'll see how it plays out. But one thing's for sure, man, we got to sell the one hell of a title fight that's going to be at the O2 in London, man. Get ready, London. It's gonna be something else. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony, back to you.
Let's not forget MF. Next week, freaking Rollins issuing an open challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I mean, anybody could get it. It could be anybody, and that's the danger. And here's the thing. Remember, Braun Breaker did call out Rollins for NXT. Does he come over and take that fight? I mean, you do an open challenge, anybody can jump it. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody from Monday Night Raw. You could get somebody from SmackDown, one night only. You could get somebody from NXT, one night only. You don't know. Open challenges, I'm going to use the words or the terminology from Joey Styles, is that you never, ever, absolutely in any sense of the word ever, issue an open challenge in a wrestling promotion. Because it's going to get answered. So, Rollins has done it. He opened up Pandora's box. Somebody's going to come through. Now the big question is, it's basically who? Who's going to be the one to step through?
Well, only time will tell. So, can't wait to find out what happens next week in Cleveland. So, all right. So with that, Shayna Baszler one-on-one with Raquel Rodriguez. Shayna Baszler in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We're gonna bypass that. That was the worst fight of the night. Absolute dud. Ho-hum diva fight. So, and then we had another cutout, Chad Gable versus Eric of the Viking Raiders. Chad Gable in 140. This was the worst fight of the night. But the one highlight that came out of that, Dean Dupree, I see you with that little arm drag maneuver. I saw you. So taking Valhalla over with that little move. Very nice.
She better watch herself, man. She better watch herself. I mean, she's feeling herself right about now, Maxine. But I'm telling you, man, you mess with a Viking wife, you're about to get destroyed. I'm just warning you. She might be, look, not bad, impressive, but you're tugging on the Superman's cape, man. You better watch yourself a little, Missy. You might end up getting your ass kicked for it.
And I love her gear too. I mean, I would love to see her wrestle in that. I mean, that's a nice that was a nice ensemble. So, interesting look, if I'm going to be honest. So, all right. Main event time. And this was promoted originally as a non-title match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn squaring off against Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. But after a backstage moment, it went from a non-title match to a title match. So this was for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship. The champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, defending against Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium. Winners of the match, 18 minutes and 20 seconds. And still the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Fight of the night. There is no question about it. As expected, this ended up being the fight of the night. All four guys had sufficient time to do what they do best. And even though the outcome was somewhat predictable, the titles being on the line made this feel more like a main event match. Kevin Owens' hothead gimmick has become the best thing on Raw. He makes every segment he is in the funniest thing on the show. Sami Zayn has a great deep arm drag. He does it similar to the way Ricky the Dragon Steamboat used to do it. Gunther is one of the most convincing pro wrestlers in the world because everything he does looks like it hurts his opponent. He actually takes good care of his opponents if you really pay attention. And Ludwig Kaiser's feet got caught on the middle rope when he did a tope suicida, and he almost had a bad landing. But thankfully, he's okay. So 4.25 stars for me. This was the fight of the night, no question about it. So MF, even if it was a non-title match, it still would have been the fight of the night. But making it a title match not only gave it a more of a main event feel, but I actually made this match even more better than already.
Even better, yeah. And the thing is that if you're gonna have a Monday Night Raw main event, you have to at least have the belts on the line. I felt like it would have been a little something less if they did not put the titles on the line. Now if they would have won the match and said all right and just play it off it that way, but I could have saw Imperium winning the match and then you do a rematch for the belts down the line. But to do it right then and there and just to get it out of the way is good. But the thing is, Kevin Owens better watch himself, man, because sometimes being a hothead is good, but if you become a hothead and it could hurt you, it could be a double-edged sword down the line. And even though they successfully defended the title and did what they had to do, I'm very impressed. I'm very happy with the way that it played out. So at the end of the day, it was a great main event. It's a 4.25 star rating for me, and there's really nothing more to say. So Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF. Overall thoughts. I think it was I'll be honest, small step down from Hartford, but still a solid show. Not too overly spectacular, but still solid.
No, still solid. I would say about 7. I could give it at least 7. I think a pure 7. It doesn't need a 7.5. I won't go there. I will go just straight 7 with it because there was some good action. Yes, I know there was a little bit in the middle where it kind of was like, but all in all, I thought they did a really good job. It was everything was solid for the most part, and I thought they did a really good job with it. So yeah, I'll give this a solid 7. And Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, solid 7. Tonight's Raw had a few highlights, but as a whole, it fell short of last week's show. Few promo segments felt clunky. Few matches were necessary filler, and some of the storyline developments were as predictable as it gets. However, WWE did set up 2 more matches for Money in the Bank: Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio, and Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship, and found the final entrant for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, that being Damian Priest. So at least we got some good progress. We got some progress on the pay-per-view. And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Imperium was the fight of the night. Riddle and Priest, a very close second. Those were the 2 standout fights of the night. And that's really all there is to say on that. So I agree, 7 out of 10. So with that, special Tony's take here, and we're going to get into another Impact Wrestling Impact Plus special. This was Against All Odds that took place this past Friday night. It aired exclusively on Impact Plus from the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, Ohio. And without any further ado, here are the results for that match. for the card, I should say. We had 2 matches on the pre-show. We had one half of the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, the Coven. That's Kylan King, with her partner Taylor Wilde in her corner, and she went up against an old friend, Nevaeh. Nevaeh making a surprise appearance here, but Kylan King won the match in 5 minutes and 2 seconds on the pre-show. The other pre-show match, return match from Under Siege for the Digital Media Championship, Joe Henry defending against Dirty Dango. And just like at Under Siege, Joe Henry successfully defends the title in 6 minutes and 29 seconds. Now to the main card. Eddie Edwards with his wife Alicia in his corner going up against Frankie Kazarian. First time ever matchup. Frankie Kazarian wins the match, 12.5 minutes. World Tag Team Championship on the line. ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay defending against the Good Hands, Jason Hotch and John Schuyler with Brian Myers in their corner. Winners and still Impact World Tag Team Champions, ABC, retain the titles, 9 minutes and 43 seconds. Killer Kelly versus Masha Slamovich in a dog collar match, first time ever for the women. And Masha Slamovich won the match in 11 minutes and 51 seconds. X Division Championship on the line next, as it was Trey Miguel defending against Chris Sabin. Winner of the match in 13 minutes and 12 seconds. And new X Division champion, it is Chris Sabin. History-making moment for Chris Sabin. He is now a 9-time X Division champion, more than anybody. And then we had the first ever 8-4-1 match. And I talked about this last week. We'll get into it again here. It started as an 8-man tag team match on one team, and it was like the wild card rules from the 95 Survivor Series, as it was Bully Ray, Heath, Jonathan Gresham, and Nick Aldis on one team, squaring off against Speedball Mike Bailey, Moose, PCO, and Rich Swann. And the winners of the 8-man tag team match, Bully Ray, Heath Slater, Jonathan Gresham, and Nick Aldis. Then those 4 men immediately competed in a fatal 4-way match. And the winner of that match becomes the number 1 contender for the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary. And the winner of the match in a total time of 19 minutes and 6 seconds, and the number 1 contender for the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary, it is the national treasure himself, Nick Aldis. Can't say I'm surprised by that. Tag team action, we had the Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo, teaming up with her Slammiversary challenger, Trinity. And they went up against Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans. I think we'll know who wins this matchup here. Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity, they won the match, 10 minutes and 3 seconds. Then we had an Ohio street fight. All 3 members of the Design, Diener, Angels, and Khan, versus the newly reunited OVE, Ohio versus Everything. They're back together. Sami Callihan, Jake Christ, and Madman Fulton. OVE wins the Ohio street fight, 14 minutes and 53 seconds. Main event of the evening, Impact World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion, Steve Maclin, defending the title against the other half of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley. And I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's an Impact Plus show. Maclin, has been champion for about 2 months or so. They'll let him run with it for a while. Yeah, about that. Winner of the match, 22 minutes and 41 seconds. And new, yes, you heard me, I said it, and new Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Alex Shelley. MF Monsoon, hit me with those magic words. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. History has been made, unprecedented crowning, and a new World Heavyweight Champion. Wow. Who would have thought?
How about it? Oh, Alex Shelley. Okay. Michael Bullock has come in, but let me finish this out, and then we'll get Bullock caught up. But MF, real quick, is it the same start times for the shows this week? I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. So 10:30 Wednesday and Thursday, and then the same on Saturday for our brand new, the brand new Saturday night edition of the Cerebral Smack Talks. So, Bullock, I'll get to you in a moment, but first, let me round it out. Yes, that's what I was saying. Brand new Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion crowned Alex Shelley. He wins the title. He defeats Steve Macklin. 22 minutes and 41 seconds in the fight of the night. They stole the dang show. And what a journey for Alex Shelley, a man who's given almost 20 years of his life to the business. And what a moment, what a night for he and Chris Sabin, his tag team partner. It's maybe it wasn't as emotional as Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania 20, but still, to see those two young men who have given their lives to this business and, two Impact Wrestling originals, and then to celebrate alongside of Frankie Kazarian. That was one of the cool visuals I've seen this year, and a great moment for Alex Shelley. I am so happy for him. He more than deserves it. And Alex Shelley is the World Heavyweight Champion. Chris Sabin, the X Division Champion. A championship night for the Motor City Machine Guns. Multi-time tag team champions in Impact Wrestling and so many other promotions around the world. And now to see those two young men with the two highest men's championships. Special moment indeed. And I know that's a night that they will never forget for the rest of their lives. So well done, gentlemen. Well done. And you damn sure both deserve it. So especially you, Alex Shelley. Special moment, man. And what a great moment. Expect the unexpected, as they say. So that is that. So with that, Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get you caught up on Monday Night Raw this evening. Only the relevant stuff, of course. We started Rhea. We talked about it. The other night when Asuka was presented her brand new WWE Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley has now been presented with her brand new Women's World Championship belt, which looks alike, very much like Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship. But there was more to that segment. Dum Dum, or as we call him Dum, but Dominic Mysterio came to celebrate, and then Cody Rhodes out, and it lit. And Cody Rhodes challenged Dominic Mysterio to a match at Money in the Bank. Rhea Ripley accepted on behalf of Cody Rhodes, or I should say on behalf of Dom. And then Cody Rhodes against The Miz, and Cody Rhodes defeats The Miz in 10:45. A lot to make sense of here, Bullock. But Rhea Ripley has a new Women's World Championship belt, and on top of that, Cody Rhodes defeats Miz in 10:45, and then Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank in London. So, Bullock, you muted your mic. I don't know if he stepped away. Okay, there he is. All right, Bullock. As we always like to say during our chats, so all that happened.
Yeah, definitely a lot happened in this, and basically, like you said, I mean, we kind of had the feeling that Rhea was going to be presented a new women's championship, especially after when Asuka was presented with it on SmackDown. But yeah, I mean, now she's called the Women's World Champion, and like you said, it looks very similar to the title that Seth frickin' Rollins has, and of course, like you said, of course, help putting it on was Dom Dom, but as you and I like to call him, Florio, Dum Dum.
Yep.
Although if we said that in front of him and especially Rhea, she probably would go to town on us.
Yeah, she'd slam us like she slammed Doc Gallows months ago.
Well, I got a little message to the Nightmare. I ain't scared of you, bitch. And if you think for 1 minute you're gonna intimidate me with your body slam, you better think again. But yeah, yeah. All of a sudden, Cody Rhodes comes out and basically challenges him to a match and
Money in the Bank.
and Money in the Bank. So, and like you said, Rhea accepts, and like you said, Florio, we heard that he was not going to be involved in Money in the Bank. So now we know the other plans he's got, and that's a date with Dominic Mysterio. Even though I'm sure there's probably some people are saying that Cody Rhodes deserves way better than that. But it is what it is, unfortunately. So
It is.
nothing more to say. So let's move on, Florio.
And Cody Rhodes defeated The Miz in 10 minutes and 45 seconds.
Oh yeah, so I forgot about that. So
we gave it 3 to 3.
I'll give it about maybe I'll give it the same rating. I'll give it 3 3.25. I mean, good momentum for Cody Rhodes heading into his match with Dominic. So yeah, so there's nothing more to say.
And then Becky Lynch cut a promo interrupted by Zoe Stark, and it led into a match with Becky Lynch versus Chelsea Green, and Becky Lynch wins the match in 7 minutes and 15 seconds.
2.5 stars is my rating for this match. I mean, it was fine. I mean, obviously it gives Becky momentum going into the Money in the Bank ladder match. But obviously, Becky's got some bigger things in mind. Obviously, she obviously wants a piece of not just Zoe Stark, but unfinished business with Trish Stratus. So we'll see what happens with that.
And then Becky Lynch defeating Chelsea Green in 7:15, unless you already mentioned it.
I said about 2.5.
All right. I got sidetracked a moment. So, all right, let's go to the next relevant thing. The final Money in the Bank qualifying match on the men's side: Matt Riddle versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest winning the match in 14 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, this was a really good match. I'll give this about maybe 3.5 stars on this one. I mean, Damian Priest, I mean, he punches his ticket. Well, obviously, thanks to a little help from Imperium. So you wonder if Gunther and Matt Riddle could be on a collision course for a feud.
Perhaps they are. Wow. All right. So with that, we move on to find the next relevant thing here. Bronson Reed versus Ricochet. Bronson Reed wins by disqualification, 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Shinsuke Nakamura interfered. And next week, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bronson Reed in Cleveland next week.
I'll give this 2.25 stars. I mean, obviously, I have to give it 2.25 because of what happened at the end of it. But yeah, now Bronson Reed gets a chance at retribution when he takes on Shinsuke Nakamura next week.
And then we had another in-ring segment. Finn Balor comes out and he called out somebody. Who did he call out? Seth freaking Rollins.
Whoa! Burn it down!
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and like you said, now we know at Money in the Bank, Seth freaking Rollins will defend that World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor.
How about it?
So, and I think it comes full circle here, Florio, because remember, I mean,
brought it up,
and they did. Yeah, because it was at SummerSlam when Finn Balor beat Seth freaking Rollins for to become the first Universal Champion. And of course, Balor only had it for over 24 hours before he had to relinquish it due to injury. So this is a chance for Finn Balor to get a little retribution on his own. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yes, sir. And also next week on Raw, that will be in Cleveland, Seth freaking Rollins issued an open challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, that just goes to show you that this man, he's a fighting champion, and he's willing to put that title on the line on any night, unlike a certain tribal chief who decides to defend the title when he wants to, and basically is literally sitting at home on his ass and basically relishing in his gold. While Seth freaking Rollins, he is a fighting champion. Yeah, take notes of that, Mr. Tribal Chief.
Exactly.
Because this is the total definition of a fighting champion.
A workhorse.
A workhorse. You, on the other hand, Mr. Tribal Chief, are not a workhorse. You don't care about giving the people what they want. You're like, hey, I'll wrestle, I'll defend the title when I want to. I don't care about what the people want. Well, Seth freaking Rollins is the people. So do you, Mr. Tribal Chief? If you think you're a fighting champion, man, you are as delusional as you're really more delusional than you think you are. Along with the Paulus, Paul Heyman.
Yeah. All right. Then we had a couple of cutout matches. Shayna Baszler defeating Raquel Rodriguez, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. And then Chad Gable defeating Erica, the Viking Raiders, in 1:40. And it set up for what was originally supposed to be a non-title match, but instead became an undisputed tag team title match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn successfully defend the titles 18 minutes and 20 seconds. You muted your mic again, Bullock. So KO and Sami successfully defend the titles in 18:20.
Fight of the night right here. I'll give this about 3 3/4 to teetering on 4. Man, this was definitely a good way to close out this edition of Monday Night Raw, and yeah, the champs stay the champs, no doubt about it. So yeah, there's nothing more to say.
What about the what about your overall review?
Well, I mean, I'm going to give this about maybe 7, 7.5. I mean, you had a lot of good things here, but then again, you also had some cutouts here too, which did hurt it a little bit. So that's all I can say on it.
All right. So with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you Wednesday night at 10:30 over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Madness, as we will have NXT and AEW Dynamite as always. Thursday night, TXN Sports World just got interesting because at the start of the show, we're going to lead it off with our brand new NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Michael Bullock, how about it?
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. All I can say is, I mean, their first NBA championship in franchise history. I mean, just think of what this club has gone throughout their existence. I mean, there were times they were good, but they also went through some hard times and were once the laughing stock of the NBA. Well, let's just say they are no longer the laughing stock. And Nikola Jokic, the MVP, that definitely comes as no surprise. But yeah, definitely congratulations to the Denver Nuggets, and we'll talk more about it on Thursday night.
Indeed, we will. So we will have that, and we might have something. We might have a Stanley Cup recap, possibly. Maybe we'll see. We'll add that to it if that happens. but confirmed for right now is the Denver Nuggets NBA championship. Week 10 of the USFL. It's the regular season finale for week 10 of the USFL. And then MF will have his recap of the UFC 289, including thoughts on the retirement of Amanda Nunes, who announced her retirement. I know MF wanted to speak on that. So we'll give him the time to do that. And Michael Bullock, if it's okay with you, and if you're on the show, maybe you could, like you've done in years past on our shows, share your experiences from the return of the Special Olympics State Summer Games.
Oh, I definitely will. I definitely will get into it. Like you said, first time since 2019. We were back to a full 3-day weekend at URI for the State Summer Games. We did return last year, but it was only for 1 day. But we're back to the full weekend, and I will definitely talk more about it Thursday night.
And we're going to give you the main event spot for that too. So big opportunity there. So that's Thursday. And of course, don't forget. And
one more thing, I also like to throw in talk about some of the Rhode Island representatives who are going to be going to, or actually some of them are already in Berlin, Germany for the Special Olympics World Summer Games.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We'll definitely have you address that as well. And then from there, this Saturday night, let's not forget, this Saturday night is the debut of our brand new Saturday night Cerebral Smack Talk. We're no longer going to be talking about AEW Rampage or any of that stuff. It'll be all about Friday Night SmackDown and the series premiere of AEW Collision. That'll be at 10:30 on Saturday night, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher. And then next Monday night, we do it all again for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. Monday Night Raw, the penultimate episode before Money in the Bank, from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. And we'll have Monday Night Raw and the return of my traditional Tony's Take, Impact Wrestling, and NXT Level Up. We'll get into all that next week. So that's it. So until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness over on MF Channel, Race 395, it's Anthony Florio here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And of course, always and forever, the first lady of this show, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. Everybody, it's been a part of this one. For now, Anthony Florio. So long. Bye, everybody. Bye.